WZZM TV 13 presents Meeting the Challenge, a sports presentation from the Special Olympics State Summer Games with Cheryl Grant. Sponsored by Spartan Stores.
More than 3,000 special athletes, hundreds of volunteers, and many family members are gathered here in Kelly Short Stadium on the campus of Central Michigan University for the 1988 Special Olympics Summer Games. It's an event that requires months of preparation on the part of the athletes, volunteers, and sponsors. Each person sets a goal and works toward meeting that goal despite obstacles. They meet a challenge that makes Special Olympics what it is today. Opening ceremonies is the only time during the Special Olympics Summer Games that all the special athletes are together, wearing the various colors of their geographical area. There are 33 areas in all, with representatives from the state's 83 counties. For many of the mentally impaired athletes, it's their first Summer Games, and the excitement of it all can't be contained.
I like the musical group that they had that came in. That was different. The group that they had that came in, that they had different singers from different countries and did different singing and dancing. I thought that was quite neat and interesting.
From the entertainment to the lighting of the torch, there are hundreds of details that go into making opening ceremonies a success.
We have to make sure that the opening game ceremonies rolls in a sufficient manner. We have to do the decoration of the stadium, make sure that the torch lighting is done correctly, the flags, the presentation of the colors and so forth. It's pretty much the whole event.
The Special Olympics State Summer Games, like the entire Special Olympics program, receives no federal or state money. Therefore, the success of the programs depends on contributions of time and money from businesses, organizations, and individuals. More than 1,000 people volunteer for the Summer Games alone.
We started out about 4 years ago with having about 40 or 50 volunteers from Spartan, and mostly from the warehouse and office part of it, as far as our associates, and it's grown to about 747 volunteers now from our retail stores and from our offices.
20 years ago this summer, the first Special Olympics track and field meet was held in Chicago. Only 1,000 Special Olympians participated in the first games, and Michigan was represented by a small delegation. Today, Michigan's Special Olympics program is recognized as one of the top in the nation. While the Special Olympics organization here in Michigan evolved and developed over the years, the athletes changed too. With increased opportunities for training and competition, the athletes became more skilled.
The games have become a lot more structured and organized. We now use certified officials. We follow rules. The athletes are becoming more skilled and more trained, and we've included harder events. We used to basically have athletes in the 50 meters and the 100 meters, and now they're competing in events up to 5,000 meters here.
With the growth of the games came the need for more volunteers who were willing to make a strong commitment to the athletes.
When I started, I was doing Special Olympics 2 weekends out of the year. Now I'm going 12 months out of the year. So there has been a big change. And probably for some of us old-timers, they weren't easy to make the changes, but they've all been for the better.
Hello, I'm Pat Quinn, president of Spartan Stores. I want to thank you on behalf of all the special athletes for shopping in our stores throughout Michigan and buying the specially designated products so that together we could make the 1988 Michigan Special Olympics Summer Games possible. As you watch the Special Olympians in this program, remember you helped make their dreams come true. Spartan Stores everywhere are proud to be the exclusive sponsor of Michigan Special Olympics Summer Games. It's a great feeling that keeps on growing.
At Spartan Stores, we work hard to keep fresh things fresh. Every day. Fresh, crisp, nutritious, delicious. All things good and fresh. are waiting for you. At Spartan Stores, the fresh food people, we work hard to keep things fresh for you. David used to sit around with little to do, but not anymore. Now it's up early and work, 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 for David has a goal. The Special Olympics, a year-round program that gives people a reason to excel. Spartan Stores salute all Special Olympians as they work to reach their full potential. We're proud to sponsor the Michigan Special Olympics Summer Games.
Of all those who take part in the Summer Games, the athlete may face the biggest challenge. Each Special Olympian trains for months, driven by a will to do his or her best. Often that drive comes from within, but without the support of family, coaches, and friends, not only would the athlete not be given a chance, he or she may not have the courage to participate.
And front leg high. Kick your toe. Up here. Up here. Get it higher.
Bethany Vanderwall
There
has
you go.
competed in gymnastics since she was 5 years old, so it was no surprise when her sister,
turn around,
Vicky,
legs
who was a
together. That was
special
better. That was
athlete,
better. Now time
showed
to get your
interest
arms
in
up
the
and finish.
sport.
She sees her sister do so many things,
And
I
arms
think
up.
that
was good. And then
this,
go
having
over
this
to
on her own, has helped her build a lot of self-confidence, that she knows she can do it too.
Instead of making your arms go out to the side like
Bethany
this,
no longer competes in
Kind of lift over
gymnastics
your-
following a
lift over
career-ending
your arm
injury,
like that.
but involves
Okay, try
herself
that.
in the sport by
Standing.
choreographing Vicky's floor exercise. For years, Bethany's assistants gave Vicky the courage to compete and to win.
I know she likes gymnastics because I've always been in gymnastics, and she wants to do what her sister does. And it's just, she gets so much joy out of it, just smiling when she accomplishes something. It's such an achievement for her.
Special athletes not only train at home, they are required to attend at least one practice session a week for 8 weeks prior to the Summer Games. And though it requires a strong commitment from the athletes as well as the coaches, they say it's worth it.
It does take a lot of time, but it's really rewarding. I have parents thanking me for taking the time to work with their kids, their athletes, you know, and I tell them, please don't thank me, I thank them in return, because I really get so personally rewarded for being with these guys. These guys are great. They give a lot back to me in return.
The months of training finally pay off when the Summer Games begin. For 3 days, the special athletes here compete in a number of events. Vicky competes in the highest level of the women's floor exercise. This, her optional routine, combines gymnastics with music.
I make her work hard, and she works hard, and she does. Sometimes there's lazy days, but then of course every athlete has lazy days, but more good days, and when she works, she puts forward effort.
Runners to your mark. Set.
There are a number of other competitive events, including track and field, swimming, bowling, and volleyball.
There is a challenge. We a lot of times we kind of get nervous about, you know, how many teams we're going to be playing against up here, you know, and what we'll be doing, you know, and different things. And so we just kind of have to just concentrate more on our practice, you know, than what's going on up here, because, you know, it's good. It's a hard competition when you come up here. You know, you're with other people that are competing also the same thing, you know, and you have to try to learn to just, you know, work a little bit harder and practice a little bit more and a little bit harder to be as good, you know. We may not be best, but we come up here and we do our very best, and I know the coaches are very proud of us and how we do, you know, and they work very hard with us also, and it's a very gratifying thing at the end when we win.
The parents of these special athletes may be the unsung heroes in this story. Though they're not often seen or heard, they play an important role in the development of the athlete. And while at times special athletes require special attention, it's a challenge that brings special rewards.
Vicki has had something that she can call her very own, something that she can do with her friends, her peers. A lot of these kids just don't have that additional stimulation. There's nothing really to motivate them to go for the physical activities. A lot of them spend a lot of time watching television, and Vicki would too if she didn't have the Special Olympics. And we get her running and doing things that she knows is going to help her improve with her gymnastics or her swimming, whatever she wants to do. And that alone just is wonderful for these kids.
Vicki's parents, Judd and Judy Vanderwall, try to see all her meets, despite the fact that watching from the sidelines can be tough at times.
Well, I get a little bit nervous, a little tense, because I know what her routine can be, what she should look like, and of course I want her to do her best. And but she usually comes through. She's usually up for those times of competition, and she does really well with it.
An estimated 3% of the population of the United States is believed to be mentally impaired. That's about 6 million people. Mental retardation can be caused by any condition that hinders or interferes with development before, during, or in the early childhood years.
People always ask me, well, if you had a normal sister, wouldn't that be better? And it wouldn't be better. The things I've learned from her and just her effort that she puts into everything, I wouldn't want a different sister. She's just my sister. Right? Right.
It's a special spirit of doing things right, looking ahead to a future that's bright, working together day after day, the Spartan spirit, it shows in so many ways together. Together we've learned, together we've grown, together we've really come into our own. Together we stand for a great idea. Together we're Spartan Storms. Together we're Spartan Storms.
Hundreds of volunteers give their time and energy to the summer games, and they do it all for one reason: the athletes.
Way to go! I don't have words for it. The feeling around here is just so great, and in the love and everything that is passed around. It's just great. That's why I volunteer. Because of her. You like it. Yeah.
A wonderful feeling to help these kids and to be with them. It gives you a feeling of being needed and serving people.
You know what we have to do?
There are more than 1,000 people who volunteer their time and money to the summer games, doing everything from organizing competition
We have to get more involved for next year.
to scorekeeping to awarding medals and ribbons. The Summer Games are only a portion of Special Olympics. In fact, Special Olympics is a year-round program that provides training and athletic competition in a variety of Olympic-type sports. More than 27,000 mentally impaired people here in Michigan benefit from Special Olympics, and more than 10,000 volunteers give their time and money to the program.
Well, our program could not exist without volunteers. It starts at our area directors, our volunteers, and it works down to our coaches. At our games here, we have about 1,000 volunteers that are working in our various events, from food to competition to acting as chaperones, coaches.
4 years ago, Spartan Stores became the exclusive sponsor of the Summer Games. Since then, the event has grown, and so has Spartan's commitment.
This really started as a promotional event and really has grown to be a major corporate event as far as we're concerned. But the major part for us and the time that it takes our people to coordinate all the efforts, because when we have a volunteer come up here, we want them to work and have an assignment and know exactly where they have to go and what they have to do. And that's a major task for 740-some volunteers.
Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. That is the oath of every Special Olympian. Those words mean so much to the athletes here, because whether or not a medal is brought home, the pride of finishing is victory in itself.
Most of our athletes, when they get out here on the field, they put out 110%. There aren't any losers; they're all winners. And most of our athletes have been in these programs for years, and they really get good at their events. And it's not whether they win or lose; it's just the pure competition.
The most important thing that I think about it is coming up here and just having a good time. You know, sometimes you might win second place, or third. It's just as good as first, because you've come up here and you've accomplished something, and you can take back home and you can share with other people. You can share with your friends, or with your people that you may go to church with, because I have people from my church, Unity Christian Reformed Church, that I go to. A lot of people, really back me, and they say, we're just so glad for you, and we're very happy, and they're just really excited for me when I come up here every year, and I'm always telling them, boy, they're just more excited, I guess, than I am, than anybody. So it's a very gratifying thing to know that there are other people out there that care, and then that get just as much as excited about, us coming up here than what I am, because I really enjoy it too, and I know that they enjoy me doing, putting in all the effort and the work into it, and it really pays off in the end.
Every time anybody or saying things, says, "How you doing in Special Olympics hunting?" I said, "I'm doing great," and I got first place ribbons and medals and everything else, and Special Olympics and everything, and I'm just making real good friends out of that.
I enjoy being around other people too, but I think I'm more comfortable around, people that are like me than because I think sometimes, I feel that, someone's gonna probably make fun of me, or say, this guy man have a problem or something, which I don't, and I don't know, I just feel comfortable around, these kind of people, because, I know they have the same disabilities that I might have, or, same feelings the way I feel. A lot of them do.
I just want Vicki to have a good time. That's the most important reason for being here. The medal is a nice aspect. That's like icing on the cake. But really, I just want her to have a good time out there. Oh, I'm really nervous. I'm a nervous person. I kind of tend to pace, but again, I'm really concerned for her being out there. And I want her to have a good time out there. I've never considered coaching gymnastics a challenge. I'm not the one challenged out there. My athletes are out there showing the skills that they've learned. They're the ones that are probably challenged more than I am. It's really easy. I get to stand on the sidelines and just kind of coach them along the way, but they're the ones out there showing the skills that they've learned.
A lot of people, when you tell them, well, here, point your toes here, they'll say, okay, sure, and then they won't point their toes. But with Vicki, you tell her something and she's really serious and she tries and she puts effort into it. And there's a big difference from saying, point your toes, the next time her toes are pointed. You say, keep your legs straight, the next time her toes are pointed and her legs are straight. So she just really listens to what you say and tries.
most nervous about me and my family and my coaches and my chaperones and everybody else too.
During the 3 days of the Summer Games, there were challenges for all those who participated, but they were challenges that made each person a better person. And though the Summer Games are over for another year, what the people learn from their challenges will stay with them forever. Every year during closing ceremonies, one person is honored as Inspirational Athlete of the Year. This award is given to the special athlete who best exemplifies the Special Olympics oath.
Please join me in a big round of applause for the Michigan Special Olympics Inspirational Athlete from Area 21, Muskegon County, Kevin Green! Come on up! Come on, let's hear it for Kevin, you guys! Inspirational athlete, Kevin Green. Kevin, come on right over here and join two other great athletes as they present to you something we want you to take home as a reminder of this great achievement from Ben Poquette and Dick Ryan and all of us here. A plaque that says, "You are an inspiration to all of us." Turn around, let them see you. Kevin, would you like to say something?
Everybody here, you win, be happy. And you lose, be happy. Because you're going to win someday. Okay?
The bronze medal goes to Felicia McGlory. The silver medal goes to Kelly Kessar. And the gold goes to Vicky Vanderwall.
Vicky has had something that she can call her very own. Something that she can do with her friends, her peers. A lot of these kids just don't have that additional stimulation. There's nothing really to motivate them to go for the physical activities. A lot of them spend a lot of time watching television, and Vicky would too if she didn't have the Special Olympics.
The oath is let me win, but if I get it win, let me be brave and attempt. That's what's it about for Special Olympians.
Hey, Dave. Super job.
This has been a special WZZM TV 13 sports presentation. Meeting the Challenge, sponsored by Spartan Stores.